today I wanted to do a video just to kind of go over the basics of Xero, or just using it functionally once you get an account set up for a trial. So the big two things are probably setting up a bank account and learning how to code bank transactions, and then we can quick go over invoices and bills. So this is a demo account that Xero lets me use to kind of show how things work. So this is the dashboard, so when you log in, this is the first thing you're going to see. And as you can see, I have a checking account and a saving account's already set up here, but we'll go ahead and add a new one. So to do that, you'll need to go up to settings up here, and you can see in favorites, I have chart of accounts and payroll settings. You can change your favorites at any time. I'll quick show you that, and then we'll go on to chart of accounts. So as you can see, chart of accounts it's been starred, and so has payroll settings, and so that's how that's how you tell it that you want those to show up in your favorites. You can star any of the other items on this page here, and they'll show up in your favorites. So let's go on to chart of accounts. So right now we have two bank accounts, checking and savings accounts, and to add another one, you can click on add bank account. You don't want to just do add account to add a bank account, because you won't be able to link it to your actual bank and pull in your bank statement items. So you'll want to click add bank account, and so what it'll do is it'll ask you what bank you have. There's three down here that are kind of preferred vendors that have the best integrations, but you can search for any banks, credit unions or whatever, and they should be in the list. If they're not, go ahead and add it. This should be an option if you try to type it in here. Add anyway, and you can go ahead and add that bank, and you just have to import the bank transactions manually until they add integration. But for now, we'll do a Wells Fargo bank account. So we're going to call it main business checking. Don't need to add an account code, but if you'll notice, the other two banks were 090 and 091, so this would be 093. And then the type of account it is everyday, and then account number. Since I don't have one that I'm going to put in here, we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if you have another account, you can always click add another Wells Fargo account. So hit continue, and you're done. It's added. So now you see it here in the list, main business checking. Say if you wanted a different account code or you needed to rename it, you can just click on it here. You can also change the bank if you need to at the top. And then account number here at the bottom, and then code, of course, and save. So now if you go back to your dashboard, it shows up here, and you have two options: get bank feeds or manually import statements. So for bank feeds, just click get bank feeds, and it will take you to here, and you can hit skip, or you can hit login. So you'll probably want to hit login, put in your credentials for Wells Fargo, and then go on from there. So for now, we'll just go back, and since this demo account has a bank account set, we'll go in there and we'll see how you reconcile account statement line items and code transactions and stuff like that. So this is how it looks once you get a bank account set up. You'll have your bank statement line items here, and this will be either items that you've put into your Xero that need to be reconciled to your bank statement, or it'll give you the option of create, discuss, make a transfer, so transfer between two bank accounts or to a credit card, or match. So you can go in here and say you needed to match this $2,000 amount with maybe 2 or 3 items. You could go in here and do that. And then we can scroll down and see if there's any items that Xero says should automatically be created. Or you can see like this one here. This one isn't green, but it says apply 711 rule. So there's a rule we've created in the background that says any item coded as, or any transaction come through as 711 should be coded a specific way. And so those will automatically show up like this, and you can just hit OK and it'll code it based on that bank rule. And as you can see at the top here, you can go in here and create a bank rule for any of these items if you want. So if you wanted to do one for here, you can click create bank rule, and then you can come up here and do conditions, and condition is payee equals this. You can also add a condition of amount, reference, or any text field. Usually I go with amount because that's usually a better indicator. So if you have a recurring bill of like $120, you can do it, or maybe it's just $12, you can set it there so that any amount coming from this vendor for $12, this is how it's going to get coded, but everything else it won't suggest to code it that way. You need to set the contact, so at an existing or new contact, so you go in here and you do central city parking, and that lets it know that's the contact you want to do to, and then you go ahead and put in the description, account, rate, region, and that kind of information here. So I'm not going to save this one, but you can go ahead and do that, and it sets up a bank rule that will apply to any further transactions. And then you can see here, here's the 7-11 bank rule that we just saw. So the condition is payee. They automatically code it to off expense, and then they're going to set a reference, and then run this bank rule on all bank accounts. So we'll go back to our bank reconciliation, and we'll see if we can find a bank transaction that Xero says we have already in our accounting solution. So if we hit next, so there's 25 items to be reconciled, and that's the first page, and there's a total of 3 pages. So here's one that's green, showing that 0 and 0, we've coded this, and they're saying that this transaction from the bank statement looks like it matches this. And so if we look, the subs don't match, the dates match close enough, and the vendor looks close enough. So I'm going to say that this should be reconciled. So you'll want to go through and do that. Here's another one. To all the items, you want to, in theory, clear all these items monthly, and then you can also, and once you've done that, you can run a reconciliation report that'll show you what your balance in Xero is, what your bank balance was, and these are the reconciling items. And then you can pick an end date. So that's basics of reconciling a bank account and setting one up. But what if you wanted to do quicker coding of all these items? So you know that none of these are in your accounting system, but you want to put them in quickly. You can go to cache coding here, which is nice, and it will just give you a quick list of all your items outstanding that aren't matched to anything. And you can go in here and add reference, account, and region, and then check them all and hit save and reconcile. So the last thing for account transactions I want to go over quickly is how to add an expense transaction, or how Xero calls it, a spend money transaction or a receive money transaction, without an invoice or a bill. So you go to account transactions. This shows you all the items that are coded in to this bank account. You can see that these items are unreconciled, and then you can go see more items as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new transaction. So we're going to click transaction, and it automatically sets to new spend money transaction. So we're going to spend money at Amazon, and we're going to say that this money was spent back on May 1st, and we don't have a reference, but it was for, office supplies for $140. And then you can either click on the drop down and select the account, or you can start typing it in for like office expenses. And then we want region of North. So there you go. We can go in and drag and drop a document right into this window, and it'll add it to this transaction, and then we can hit save. And then in the transaction detail, you can see if a transaction has a document attached, that'll be a document icon next to it. So clearly none of these have documents attached, and that's okay. So what if you wanted to add a receive money transaction? You just click on the spend money transaction and change it to receive money. And we received money from a vendor. Say maybe it was an Amazon refund. There you go, Amazon. say it's a refund. Quantity 1, refunded at 140. We got refunded on May 31st. And it was for office supplies. So we're going to put it to office expense and north. And then we'll do save. So now you can see in your bank line transaction items that we spent 140 and then it was refunded. And then if we had a bank line item to go with that, we could go back to reconcile and then it would show green with that bank statement line item. So that's the basics of how to kind of reconcile your bank account.